Sirius Black, born into a family where only lineage mattered. To most of us, Sirius Black is the man who escaped Azkaban, the first to ever do it, and Harry Potter's godfather. But there's more to him than that, and in my eyes, no character in the series carried a heavier burden of sorrow. He was born into the illustrious Black family, a name that wore its obsession with pure blood like a crown. Sirius walked away from that hollow pride, from a heritage built on contempt, chasing something real, love and friendship that asked for nothing in return. And the most defining chapter of his life unfolded in the bleakest place imaginable, Azkaban. Put there by the deepest betrayal a friend could deliver, branded a murderer for supposedly selling out the very person he'd have died for.
And he's in this room, right now! Come on, Peter!
Today, this is the story of that tragic figure, the House of Black. To understand how different Sirius was, and how rare that made him, you first need to understand the House of Black, one of Britain's oldest and most noble families, devoted entirely to the cult of pure blood. Their family motto said it all: toujours pur, always pure. They held pure blood as something inherently supreme. Muggles weren't just looked down on, they were despised. The family leaned into anti-Muggle ideology, embraced dark magic, and in time, more than a few of them supported or sympathized with Voldemort. Born into a house like that, Sirius pushed back against everything it stood for from the time he was a child. While the rest of his family wore Slytherin green with pride, Sirius was sorted into Gryffindor. His mother, Walburga Black, took it as a personal humiliation. For the Blacks, family reputation sat above all else, and being placed in Slytherin was a badge of honor, something to boast about. So when Sirius wasn't, they treated him as a failure, a stain on the name. His father, Orion Black, offered him no comfort, no support, nothing to ease what he was going through. Love in that house came with conditions. Their children were valued only in proportion to how fully they absorbed the Black family's ideals. Sirius could never swallow that poison of false pride and hatred, and in turn, the family never truly let him in. The love he never found within the walls of the Black family, he found at Hogwarts, among the Marauders. That's a story for Sirius Black, the tragic and most faithful member of the Marauders. Sirius Black, the tragic and most faithful member of the Marauders. At Hogwarts, Sirius found his people in James Potter and Remus Lupin. Remus was the quiet one, always with his nose in a book, while James and Sirius ran wild through the Gryffindor dormitories and across the Hogwarts grounds, their pranks breathing life into everyone around them. Between the two of them, there was a kind of perfect match. Brilliant, restless, forever one step from breaking some rule. Their trust in each other ran deep, the bond somewhere between brothers and best friends. Lupin, the bookish, quiet one, was close to them both. But Lupin carried a burden neither of them had to. He was a werewolf. Every full moon, he turned into something violent, something he couldn't control, and spent those nights alone in the shrieking shack, isolated and in agony. Even as boys, James and Sirius made a decision. They wouldn't let their friend face that alone. So they mastered one of the most difficult and forbidden branches of magic, animagy, learning to transform into animals at will. Sirius became a great black dog, James a stag, so that on the nights Lupin changed, he wouldn't have to be alone. Peter admired all of them. Timid, always a little starstruck around James and Sirius, he followed their lead without question. James, Sirius, Lupin, and Peter. Together, they were the Marauders, the four behind the legendary Marauders map. For Sirius, the Marauders were more than friends. They were the family he'd never had. And it was James who eventually brought Sirius into his own. Grimmauld Place, the first family Sirius ever chose. When Sirius left the Black family at 16, he came to James Potter's home, and James's parents, Euphemia and Fleamont Potter, took him in as though their own son had simply come home. Everything Sirius had spent his whole life longing for from the Black family, He found there, freely given, no conditions attached. For the first time, Sirius understood what family was supposed to feel like. But their story didn't stay this gentle. What came next would change everything, a tragedy that reshaped all their lives. And that's where we'll pick up next time, in Sirius Black, a tragic hero who lost everything to become the family he never had.